Welcome everybody to another episode of Culture Cooking, and today we are at Meatless Monday with my fabulous
Michaela Hill.
Perfect. And today we are talking about vegan brunch, and we're going to cook along with you guys. So for those of you who are tuning in, you should have your recipe guide already printed out or on your tablet ready to go. All ingredients out in front of you and ready to go. So before we get started, I want to tell you guys a little bit about like who Feed the Mass is, and then maybe we can talk a little bit about Reach, and then we'll kind of get started. So Feed the Mass is a nonprofit. We do cooking classes on a regular basis digitally. So if you're on our YouTube channel, please subscribe. And we love teaching people about different types of cultures, different types of food. And the cool thing about what we're doing in Meatless Mondays is going into vegan, kind of healthy, and then really trying to also eliminate meat. And why did you feel like this was super important with Reach?
Well, so what we do at Reach, Reach stands for Racial, Ethnic, and Purchase Community Health. We focus on 3 different strategies, one of them being nutrition strategy, community clinical linkages, and community clinical linkages and physical activity in the built environment. And so today I wanted to focus on a vegan recipe because
what kind of inspired you into it?
A policy that was implemented in New York focusing on a Meatless Monday in the public schools. And I wanted to focus on that just because, not that meat's bad, but there are other options. And usually when you do eat a plant-based diet, you eat more healthy nutrient food-based. So in what we do with Reach, also we focus on communications and developmental economic development for policy implementation. So.
Perfect. So today there's going to be a lot of chopping, so make sure you bust out your best knife. And we're also going to be using a really fancy tool called a food processor. So right now, before we get started, the first thing we need to do is make sure our oven is preheated. So we're going to preheat our oven to 325. Beautiful. Or sorry, 350. My bad, 350. Turn it on. Perfect. Also, if you haven't already washed your hands, please go wash your hands. Make sure your hands are nice and clean. And we're going to get started. So, like, when it comes to vegan brunch, or as we would say, Brinner, because it is on the evening, I love French toast. I also love eggs. I'm big. Eggs are like the main staple when it comes to like Hawaiian cuisine and stuff like that. Like, if you have breakfast, it always has eggs on it. It could be spaghetti with eggs, chili and eggs. It makes a breakfast. So, if you can't have eggs, or if you're vegan and you want to go without eggs, we're going to be using tofu. And this is really soft tofu, or silken if you can get it. But we're going to go with a really soft tofu to make kind of a egg mixture. So let's get we can get a large pan or a cast iron. One of these will work. Now with this, this is actually also bakeable, so we're going to do everything in one pan.
Love that.
So you don't have to stress about like 15 pans, because I'm notorious for that in my house. So this is going to be super easy. So we're going to turn this on. Because we're using a cast iron pan that is oven safe, we're going to get this turned on early, because it does take a little time for it to heat up. So we're going to be medium heat, let it go for about 3-4 minutes. Now we're going to get some chopping on. So knife skills 101, super important. We're going to hold our knives gently. So super important when we're grabbing onto it. We're going to place our knives right in our little first crease of our hands, and we're going to grab onto it gently. What I like to do is pinch the bolster. So the bolster is the point where the knife and the handle come together. Just pinch it, grab onto it gently. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make half moons. So you can grab yours. There you go. So we're going to make a little tunnel with our fingers. So pinch to the sides, keep our OK up, and bring your knife right in the middle and cut it in half. All right, and it's okay if your leek kind of starts separating. That's totally fine. Cut it all away, and then you're going to put those half moons straight down. There you go. So now it doesn't roll around. That's super important. We don't want this rolling around. Oh, I just want to make sure you can see. Is that better? Perfect. All right, so we have our leeks. We're going to cut these into half moons. So again, we're going to use our claw. So fingertips straight down, bending our knuckle, blade against our knuckle, and we're going to cut this into nice and thin. About, I would say, 1/8 of an inch. So in your house, who's the chopper?
Oh, I do all the cooking.
You do all the cooking?
All the cooking. There's no one else in my kitchen. That's how I like it.
That's the way you like it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I feel like I'm the designated chopper and actually cooker in my house, so it's all good. So I get it. All right, so leeks nice and chopped. You're almost there. And once you get to like that little end, it's important that like you kind of do one at a time. You can, and if they're really slippery, there you go. Just take your time. There you go. You got it. Go a little bit more. One more. Just turn to the side. No, turn to the side. There you go. Just chop it. There you go. Just make it a little bit smaller. All right. This is not about perfection, y'all. This is all about just getting everything into a similar shape. All right. Because when they're in a similar shape, then it'll cook at the same time. So we're going to do cooked items that we're going to cook are going to go in here. So you can bring your cutting board to the edge and just scoop everything in there. Don't use your knife. All right. So Ivan's on the camera right now. Ivan, how many people we got rolling with us today? Ivan doesn't know yet. If you are listening to us and you're on the stream right now, I want you guys to let us know where you're streaming from. We're out here in Portland, Oregon. So if you're watching around the world, tell us where you're at, and let us know, like, even tell us what is your favorite breakfast item. So we're gonna chop up we have some chard. So you can use kale if you can't find chard. One thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the spine. So just gently grabbing it and pulling. All right, and then there you go. We're not gonna throw this away because this is good stuff. We're gonna keep this to the side. We're gonna chop that up separate. We're gonna pull out that little spine. Perfect. Now, all we're gonna do is take our little leafy greens, fold them in half, and then fold them one more time in half. And then one more time in half. So you got a little package. Perfect. And now we're just gonna cut this into little ribbons. So nice and about the same size as the leek. Nice and easy.
Such a fast chopper, I love it.
Yep. And then all we're gonna do one more time across, just to make it a little bit smaller. So one more time across. Perfect. See, you're just quick. All right. So we're gonna grab our bowl of ingredients. Perfect. Beautiful. Throw yours in. Yep. There you go. I know it's a hard habit to break.
Yeah.
Don't use your
Until you
knife.
cut yourself.
Until you cut yourself. All right, so next thing we're gonna do, that little spine we have, we're gonna cut that little end that's like looks pretty dead. Put this back on in there. There you go. And then we're just gonna chop this nice and small. So we're not wasting any part of a chard. This means it's gonna cook evenly with everything else, and that's super important. There we go. All right. And then scoop it in. There you go. Perfect. All right, so we're almost there. The next thing we're gonna do, get our garlic. So we're just gonna need 1 clove of garlic. So you can just press, smash it, and the paper should come off unless you pull over it like I just did. There we go. And then all we're gonna do is just slice it nice and thin. We're not gonna mince it. We don't need to do that much work. All right, it's dinner time. We don't need to do a lot of work. Super important. All right, pan nice and hot. Make sure. Oh, that's looking good. Bring this in. All right, so we have our pan already preheated, ready to go. We're gonna throw some olive oil, tablespoon. All right, and then we're gonna make sure we have our stirring spoon. Bust out the wooden spoon, as they would say. And I'm gonna switch sides with Michaela. Michaela, you're gonna dump all this in.
Alrighty.
Yep. Get that going. Perfect.
And the sizzle, yeah.
Yep, the sizzle is important. And we're gonna kind of like slowly sweat this out. And then you're gonna season some salt and some pepper. So pinch of salt, pinch of pepper.
Okay. So can I?
You can salt bait if you want, if that's what you want to do. As long as it's getting into the pan and not everywhere.
It'll get everywhere. Okay.
So we're just gonna kind of like stir it frequently. So right now we're sauteing, we're not trying to sear it or anything like that. We're really trying to get this sweated. We got 3 people. Right on, everybody. And where are people from? Anybody put in the chat where are they from?
We have one person saying hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Peace sign. All right. Who's that person?
Mary.
Mary in the chat. Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about the eggs, or our faux eggs. So we are using a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, it's not a big deal. You can get like a potato smasher, but we're using our silken tofu, and we're gonna throw this into our food processor. So this is actually, we couldn't get silken, so we're using really soft tofu, and this is really awesome. It has a little bit of water, but we're gonna take out most of the water already. A little water is okay. So we're gonna need about 16 ounces, or about a pound, of tofu. Make sure it goes in the food processor. All right. Now, our binder, which is going to kind of get this together and kind of coagulate, is going to be our garbanzo flour. You can also use all-purpose flour if you don't have this, not a big deal. We have our oregano. That's going to give some flavor. Nutritional yeast. This gives us that umami that we want, so that's super important. And then, of course, our mustard. We are using Dijon mustard, but whatever mustard you have in the fridge. Some stone ground would be good in this, or some honey mustard. What's your favorite mustard?
Stone ground.
Stone ground, okay.
The best for making salad dressing.
Yeah, it has like a little texture. I like that little texture about it. All right, so we're going to now close our food processor. Now, in a recipe, we talked about this ingredient called, I want to make sure I say it properly, Calamanoc Salt. Now, this gives us that sulfury kind of smell to our eggs, and that's super important if you're trying to like replicate eggs, but it's not necessary. It's really just a, I would say an illusion, as they would say. So it's not really necessary. But if you got it, great, add it in there. Unfortunately, we could not find it. It was really hard to find, right? All right, so we're gonna pulse it, and we're gonna turn it on. It's going to take about, I would say, about 30 seconds for it to kind of come together. How we doing?
Good.
Doing good? All right.
Smells good.
All right. So,
Woo!
it's okay. I didn't need that anyway. All right, so we're going to pop this out. And it kind of has almost a texture of kind of like hummus. But that's because we use that garbanzo flour. That's going to thicken it up. So we're going to use a spatula or a spoon. Try not to waste any of this. Perfect. And of course, we're going to taste everything. And because this isn't eggs, we can actually taste it while it's raw. And we make sure there's enough salt, if we need to add more flavor to it. It's not bad. I think it needs a little more salt.
Good.
Actually, I'm gonna switch this.
It's similar to the eggy flavor egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
A little bit. And again, if you're used to having eggs, this is gonna be a little weird. But again, remember, this is just a substitute. And we're trying to just, eat a little healthy. That's okay.
I think we're almost.
Oh yeah, they're looking good. Keep it going. All right. So I'll season this a little more salt. Throw a little bit of pepper.
And leeks are in season right now too.
Yes, it is leek season, so this is perfect timing.
It's also peach season.
Peach season.
Yes.
I love me some good peaches.
Yes.
And we're gonna have some peaches later, so super excited for that. All right, do one more tasting. Perfect. All right. How's it looking? Looks great. All right, so if you can just kind of see on here, everything's kind of melted down. It's nice and happy. So now it's time to add in our mixture.
Okay. So this is a meal you could even meal prep.
Oh yeah, you can definitely meal prep this.
Yeah.
So all we're gonna do is kind of mix this all together.
Okay.
And I'm using a heat-proof spatula, so it's kind of okay to use this. All right. Perfect. And then we're just gonna spread it out.
I love that you use chickpea flour, so you're getting some protein in there
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Well, we're
Good.
substituting proteins for
Yep.
another protein. I
A
like
good
it.
fat with olive oil and good fiber with all the vegetables. I love it.
All right, so spreading this out. Perfect. All right, I'll take that. Thank you. All right, now we're gonna take our towels or oven mitts, turn off the stove, and we're gonna throw this in the oven for 25 minutes. So, oven's already preheated, ready to go. Oh. Gonna be careful. I'm gonna set our timer for 20 minutes and check on it. All right, so we're gonna clean up our area. We'll be back in about a couple minutes. This will be a good time for you to wash your hands, get everything going, and we'll be back to make our French toast.
Yeah.
Ivan, you wanna mute? Hey everybody, are we unmuted? Yep. All right. Hey everybody, sorry for we are having some technical difficulties with our overhead monitor, but we're all set. All right, you guys all ready? So we're going to be making our French toast batter. Now there's a couple ingredients that you're going to be needing. So let's get back into this bowl. So I'm going to switch over real quick. Can we go to overhead real quick? All right, so in our bowl, I want to make sure you guys can see that. In our bowl, we have our almond flour, we have our salt, our nutmeg, our cinnamon, and our baking powder. Super important, use baking powder, not baking soda. All right, so we have all of our dry ingredients. Michaela, would you mix this up for us?
Yes.
And while she's doing, oh, here's your whisk. There you go. And while she's doing that, we're going to talk about our wet ingredients. So, wet ingredients that we're going to have. We're going to have our almond milk, or you have oat milk, or any kind of non-animal product milk. We have our vanilla, so this is just vanilla extract. It's amazing. Maple syrup. I mean, you gotta have the maple. I mean, it's French toast, for goodness sake. Mm-hmm. And then we have some olive oil for some extra fat, because of course almond milk doesn't have that much fat. All right, so dry ingredients mixed well. Mm-hmm. Good job, Mikhail. All right, now we're gonna mix all of our wet ingredients into the mix. Boom. And now, so when we make French toast regularly, we use eggs, and that's gonna be kind of like our batter. So what we're gonna do instead is we're actually gonna make kind of like a flour batter. And this is huge, because when we're making our flour batter, this is what's gonna stick to the outside of our French toast and kind of give you that like eggy exterior. So that's super huge. All right, so mix. Come on, yeah, mix. I'm putting you to work.
I see that.
All right. Perfect. And so that almond flour is going to kind of create that batter along with the almond milk, and the baking powder is going to kind of crisp up. That's what we're looking for. So you want to mix this thoroughly and well. Just down below. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to turn on, you can use a skillet, or you can use a non-stick pan. We're going to use a plancha, or a fancy term, a flat top. I love these. My mom had one that literally, I swear, it was like 30 years old. It's about as old as I was when I was a kid. And we're going to turn that up to 350. Get that going. All right. So batter, nice and well mixed. Well done, Michaela. All right. Now we're going to cut our bread into, and now we're using French bread, so it's kind of crusty. We like the crusty. Crusties are good. You can also use brioche bread. They have some vegan style of brioche bread, but any kind of soft bread or like sturdy bread would be good. Either one will totally work, but we're going with the Italian loaf. So we're gonna take our knife, cut that little end off. Snack time. I'm just kidding. And then we're going to do about, I would say about a 1/2 inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch. I like my French toast thick. Oh, that's gonna be good. Now, if you're noticing that it's like kind of getting really soft and hard, turn it over the other side so you have more surface, and kind of cut from one corner over. Makes it easier. There we go. So, 4,
Great.
maybe you do one more, because I think Ivan wants 2. You want 2, right, Ivan?
Yeah, I have to.
He will have 2. All right. Ivan wants 2. All right. So, bread on the side, you can wrap it in some cellophane. Make sure it's airtight so it doesn't get stale. But that's aside. All right. So while this is heating up, we're going to talk about what are our toppings that we're going to be using. So we have, what do we have?
Raspberries.
What else do we have?
Strawberries, peaches, which are in season,
Beautiful.
and a banana.
Now, these are full of vitamins and minerals that we need, and I think when we're eating anything, it should always be as variety. So like you saw the rainbow chard. So we got some of that green, some of that red, some of that dark greens. We had the leeks, which was that white, and the little bit of light greens in there as well. So now we got some reds in here. So this is definitely going to be a beautiful, colorful dish.
Yes.
So We're gonna make sure this is nice and hot. These heat up pretty quick. We're gonna get a paper towel. And this is going to be kind of an oil rag. So oil rags are super important because you want to make sure that it has a little bit of oil on there, but not so much as if you're deep frying it. So what I like to do, throw a little oil down. And we're using olive oil, you can use vegetable oil, whatever oil you have. And then we're just gonna kind of, almost kind of clean the top. So it's not so much oil, but just a little bit. We're just greasing the pan. All right, how is our, frittatas are looking good. All right, so make sure you check your frittata, make sure it's not like burning. But if you're doing it right, we've got another 10 minutes. By the time these are done, we're gonna be ready to eat everything. Are you hungry yet?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna teach you how to cook. I'm gonna do one, you're gonna do the rest, all right?
Okay.
So we're gonna take our bread, dunk it, flip it, and we're gonna do the shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Get that little excess off, and put it down. And we're gonna cook for about, I wanna say, 2, maybe 3 minutes on each side.
All right.
All right, you got this.
Dip, flip, shake. Got it.
Good shake. Dip, dip, shake. Dip, dip, shake. All right. So, while Michaela's doing those things, you can have your partner or children around. We're gonna start actually chopping up our fruit for our French toast. So, I wanna grab a little plate so we can make it look fancy. All right, so we cut the top, bottom, tip our knife all the way through. All right. Now all we're gonna do is just cut at like a little bias so we have really long strips of banana. Because we want long strips of banana. I don't like little chunks, I want big chunks of banana. Are you a banana fan?
I love bananas.
Oh, okay, good. I have one almost every morning.
They're a good serotonin boost. Love it.
Serotonin boost?
Yes, that's why they're shaped kind of like a smile.
Oh, so
Yeah.
what does serotonin do?
Serotonin's good for happiness and feeling good, and you know, if you're ever in a down mood, you know, see a banana, try it.
That makes total sense. I like it.
And then red means antioxidants, which is good for flushing out the systems.
Ooh, okay.
Got lots of antioxidants.
I love me some antioxidants, so we're gonna spread this around. Now, yep, right behind you, perfect. Press down there.
Sweet.
Yep. All right, raspberries, I mean, just give them a quick rinse if you can. These are pretty good. Right now, one of the biggest things I like to do is actually go down to Canby. They have berry picking season, so you can go pick your own berries, especially when it gets warm. I don't like doing it in midsummer, but like right now is probably the best time to go.
Yeah.
So we take some
Hood berries are the best.
hood berries, there you go. Strawberries. Now, everybody throws away this green part, but I don't know why, because it is edible.
Yes.
I mean, every part of the strawberry is edible. And actually, I think it just, it's kind of fancy. If it's not like totally disgusting, I like to just leave it on. Nothing's wrong with that top. And it just brings an extra color. You know what it is. There's no mystery. It's an identifier.
The root's always where all the nutrients are.
There we go. We're getting that nutrients in there. Extra nutrients. All right. How they look. Oh, so it's time to do a quick flip.
Yep.
So when we flip, just go in gently. And bada bing. So, yep. And it's okay if it's a little dark. We're going to be all right.
Hopefully I didn't burn it.
You didn't burn. Yours are good. Mine was a little too long, but it's okay. We got distracted by the strawberries. And by the way, did you know that a banana is a berry? Anything with seeds in it is a berry.
Yep.
So a banana. So it's all berry central over here. It's a plate of berries. And then now we have our peach, which It's a little firm, but it's okay. Firm peaches are still good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around the pit, pull it apart, and we're gonna cut one more time, right in half. There you go. Kind of cut like a little V. But again, if you don't have peaches, not a big deal. Try to cut around it if you can. Goodness. There we go. And then all we're going to do, nice, thin cuts. All right, the thinner, the easier it's going to chew, and it won't be as if you're chewing on something super hard.
It might be.
Almost ready?
Yep. Should I turn it off?
Yeah, you can turn it right off. Perfect.
No serving.
We can put them on these plates.
Awesome.
There you go. Perfect. So I'm going to chop up this peach.
These smell so good.
Oh, yeah. And again, we're looking at natural sugars. Now we're not using a lot of processed sugars in this dish.
And you just use almond flour
Yep.
to make it thick. That's so smart.
You wouldn't know that, like, there's no eggs in
Tricks.
this.
There's tricks. I like.
Tricks to everything. All right. So this is our, all right, do it overhead real quick so they can see that. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Nice and golden, nice and happy. I'm gonna show you guys in the A camera. There we go. Look at that thickness, sexiness. Love it. And then we have our plates of berries. Look at that. Just want to jump in that. Love it. All right. I'm gonna grab the maple syrup real quick. This maple syrup's important in this mix. I think I like to just throw it right in here. Okay, so now we have our little cup of maple syrup. All right, so this, and then of course we have some powdered sugar if you want to go that route. But again, if you're diabetic, you should probably avoid it, you know. And of course, you know, limit yourself a little bit, but it's all good. Just enjoy it. So we have that done. I'm gonna go check on our, frittata.
You could even put these in little cups as
Yep.
well. Have them on the go.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
my favorite.
This is looking good. Go put this on this. I think we can go a little bit longer, but I'm gonna do a little quick poke test thing. Yeah, I'll use this. Just make sure it's cooked all the way through. I'm gonna go a little bit longer. Perfect. So we're gonna do a couple more minutes. But while we're doing that, what's going on with Reach? Any new events coming up down the pike?
We always have new events.
New events?
Well, we have a Juneteenth event, and we have CSAs that we're starting with Play, Grow, Learn that we're really excited about.
Exciting. I'm super pumped for that.
What's going on with?
Feed the Mass? Oh, so I'm glad you asked. So on June 25th, we are having our luau, which we have one every year, but since COVID, we haven't had it for 2 years, since 2019. Unfortunate. But we celebrate having some really good food. This year we're sponsored by Hammer and Stitch, and they actually are making their own beer. It's a guava wheat beer called Hana Ho, and all the proceeds go straight to Feed the Mass. So if you want to donate, go to feedthemass.org/luau2022. And you can check out opportunities to become a sponsor. You can donate. You can come out. It's a free event for everyone. It's open to all ages, so you can bring the kiddos out. And there's tons of activities. We're also going to have hula lessons, so you can learn to hula.
What are you cooking?
What am I? I'm not cooking that day.
Oh, okay.
But Hammer and Stitch is actually going to be putting on a Hawaiian-themed menu for us. So they're going to be, the chefs out there are going to do all the work. I'm going to be out there enjoying everything, shaking hands with people, doing the hula with everybody. I'll be wearing my favorite hula shirt, so you better be out there dancing with me. And of course, we're going to have live music. And so Hawaiian music is going to be happening. It's going to be super fun. So June 25th, put on your calendars from 2 to 6 p.m. And there's going to be live music and everything. Love for you guys to be there. Help support us ending hunger in Portland. Our goal is to raise $100,000 to feed 40,000 people for the rest of the year. So if you want to be a part of that, go to feedthemass.org/luau2022. All right. So you ready to try some of the French toast, and then we'll get into frittata?
Yes.
All right. Want to grab one of those little plates over there? So, how is everybody doing that's online? If you're doing good, can you throw some thumbs up in the chat? I want to make sure you guys are okay. We're going to make a fancy dancy plate for the miss. I'm going to give you a big one. Oh yeah, this little hunker. All right. So when it comes to plating, it's all about layering, having a little bit of care, but it's also just make things look, putting a little bit of fanciness. So a little bit of elements of everything. So we're putting a little bit. Is there anything you don't like?
Nope.
Okay, just want to make sure. A really good key, odd numbers. So
Sounds like a chef rule.
it's a chef rule. When you're garnishing things, odd numbers. If you do even numbers, it's kind of weird. Like, I don't like this. It looks weird. But it just makes it look better. So, and then, if you're going to use powdered sugar, we're going to use a little sieve. Throw a little powdered sugar in there, and then tap. Make it snow. Oh, yeah. Put it right back in. Get back in there. There we go.
Lovely.
Yep. All right, and then I'm gonna grab a spoon and a fork for you. All right, fork for you. How much syrup do you like? Are you a syrup person?
I love syrup.
Oh, so a lot.
Yes.
Throwing it on there. Oh yeah.
Yes.
More?
No, you're good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited.
There you go. All right, go ahead, try it. Can we get the reaction camera around Michaela's face?
I think I might need a knife though, because it's so thick.
Oh, okay. I'll get you a knife. Butter knife on the way.
It's like mouth-watering. I'm excited.
Oh, goodness.
The frittata's done.
You're going to have to use a regular knife. I'm sorry.
It's intense.
Intense.
Let's see.
All right. So,
All right.
ready? Oh,
Really good.
Really good?
Yeah.
It's not horrible?
No, it's so
It's
good.
edible.
It's so fluffy.
All right. So, knowing that we don't have
10 out of
any...
10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Now, one thing you can also do if you have kiddos, just chop it up. Make it easier for them.
Or you remember those, like, the French toast sticks?
Yes!
Reminds me of those.
Yes,
Dunk 'em.
just dunk them. So then you can kind of stack them up, make them look pretty. Throw a little bit of bananas in and out everywhere. Just have fun with it. That's what's the best thing about cooking. Oh, you can get no peaches. Throw some peaches on yours. Stacking up fruit. There's no real rules to food. Just have food. Have good food. Eat good food.
Nutrient-rich food,
There you go.
but also just good for the soul.
Good for the soul.
This is good.
All
Look at
right.
that.
Throwing a little bit of oh yeah.
It's like
That's-
restaurant-style French toast at your house. I love it.
And then of course you gotta want to take pictures so everybody knows.
Instagram eats first.
Yep. One more time for the gram. Bam. Bam. All right. So if I want to see your guys' French toast, make sure you go to Feed the Mass at Feed the Mass on Instagram. You can do at Feed the Mass on Facebook and at Feed the Mass on Twitter. and also at Feed the Mass on TikTok. So I want to see what your little tower or amazing way of doing your French toast. And of course, the drizzle. All right, I'm gonna give you a fork. I'm gonna try this. Fork is happening. Oh,
Okay.
it looks so good. All right. Got strawberry down. All right, and
Let's see it. Right? So fluffy.
no joke. I like the French bread on this one. The reason I like the French bread, it's a lot sturdier, but holds all the flavors in it. Like, it's just like it's a flavor magnet. All right. Don't mind us.
We're just over here.
Where's over here? All right.
The frittata now.
It's frittata time.
Frittata time.
So, take your knife and cut it. You can also just scoop it. Either way. Alright. Throw a little bit of this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You could really add any type of veggie to it you want.
Oh yeah.
Red
Egg-
pepper, mushrooms,
Yep.
all of it.
All right. Now we're gonna do mushrooms. We bomb on this. Next time we'll have mushrooms. All right. Cheers. Salut, everyone. Salut. Hot.
It's hot, but it's good. The leeks, really flavorful. Too hot?
I'm burning my mouth. I'm okay. Professional here. All right, guys, that is it. We thank you guys so much for joining us today. This was super fun. Michaela, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you, Reach, for sponsoring, and Multnomah County Health Department for just sponsoring this amazing event and this amazing food. I want to see your guys' pictures. Make sure you guys tag us on Feed the Mass, share this with all your friends. This is also going to be online for anyone who wants to watch this again later. And again, thank you guys so much for being with us tonight. Have a wonderful evening, and see you again next month
Thank you.
for Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to see you at the luau too. Come to the luau. All right, this is for real. Bye.
Bye.